need to get straight that feminine is not just about women and masculine is not just about men. All of us have both of these characteristics within us. Some of it is dominant, some of it is active, some of it is lying dormant, inactive, and untouched. And that is what we are going to explore today. So, today's session is going to be about the essence of divine feminine. But as we already talked, that divine feminine cannot exist without the divine masculine. They always coexist together, and there is no way to separate them. So, they are like a dance together. So, welcome everyone. And yeah, so Sachin, whenever you want to chime in, just let me know. Shall I begin?
Yes, of course, yes.
Yes, great. So, the first thing in this session we are going to talk about is what is divine feminine. Okay, so in Taoism, when we see in Taoism, so there are a lot of characteristics. If we go through the learnings of Lao Tzu, then we see that he talks about non-action. Okay, he talks about stillness, he talks about darkness, he talks about the motherly nature, the nurturer, and softness, gentleness. Okay, so all these things are important characteristics of the feminine. That softness, that gentleness, we all hold within ourselves, regardless of what our gender is. So, even when we talk about the divine feminine characteristics, we will also go through in this session parallelly, touching a little bit about divine masculine because they there is no way to separate them. So that is uh, like the Taoist definition of divine feminine. It's like that wet soil from which the seed comes out. Okay, that wet soil which provides the space for the plants, for the creation to grow from itself. So that is a little bit about the Taoist definitions. And also one more thing, that the attributes of divine feminine are so many, and the attributes of divine masculine are so many that it is going to be really hard to cover it in a 1 hour session. So we are going to cover few of the most important points that we can begin with. One most important thing before we start talking about more about these characteristics in detail is that there is nothing to write down, there are no notes to prepare, but in the next 45 minutes prepare yourself to feel whatever words we are going to say. So the energy of feminine is such that it is inviting. It's like it invites with open hands that come, sit with me, and feel. Okay, so emotions are another important element of the divine feminine. It always comes from inside, and it asks you to come process your trauma, to come process your wounds, to come process your emotions that we have been running from so many years. So the characteristics of wounded masculine, which has been very dominant in the whole world, that dominant wounded dominant masculine energy, and we are so accustomed to ignoring things, ignoring the body, ignoring the emotions, and we go out and we distract ourselves. So in this masculine dominant world, that is what we do. So that energy which is always, which in meditation when you sit, and that energy which invites you, which says that welcome, please come sit with me, let's talk, and let's process all these emotions. That is the feminine energy, and that is going to be the purpose of this session, is that when we are both talking, it is really important that you listen to those words, see where they resonate to you, and start feeling it in the body, start feeling the emotions in the body. Because merely understanding this, whatever characteristics and attributes we talk about, merely just listening to it and understanding it is not going to help. Another important thing is we all have a different mix of masculine and feminine within us. So some people are more masculine dominant, but that doesn't mean they don't have feminine energy. Some people are more feminine dominant. That also doesn't mean they don't have masculine energy. Like if you go see artists, people who paint, people who are like, I don't give a damn to the world and I'm just gonna paint, and I'm a dancer who is just dancing because they love dancing. That is a feminine, that is a feminine creation which is happening. But they also have the masculine. We are going to talk about in detail. So feel whatever we are going to say here. Feel it through the body. Feel it in the body. The feminine energy is an energy which goes within. Okay, it is the energy of being in it, it is the energy of going within the body. Okay, so we can also say that the feminine energy is something which is the manifestation, which is like, which is bringing the heaven on earth, on this, on the mother earth where we are, and it sustains. Little bit we have talked about the Taoist meanings of divine feminine, but when it comes to Hinduism, when it comes to Indian, not Indian, Hinduism and the yogic Vedic, tradition around the world, we see the archetypes of goddess Kali, goddess Durga, which are so, which we see as, a form of aggression. We see as a form of destruction. Okay, but they are. It is going to be a little hard to digest for everybody because we just said that feminine is soft and gentle, and now I'm talking about goddess Kali. But there are different facets of the divine feminine. Another archetype which goes around the world is of a jaguar, which is divine, which is feminine in nature, and it goes out and it hunts in the night. It hunts in the night. It doesn't take anything more than what it needs, and it just follows its intuitive nature to go forward. So these are the different archetypes. There are many more. There are many more. I mean, we see so many archetypes of goddesses around the globe. They are all different facets of divine feminine. So divine feminine is not just softness, not just gentleness. She is also an energy which is destructive in nature, which destroys not just anything. It's not like an energy which will go out and just destroy anything. It is an energy which destroys what does not serve you. So these are different facets, different kind of archetypes that we see around the globe about divine feminine. We can also say Mother Mary. So Mother Mary was so soft and gentle, and but we misunderstand softness as a weakness, and that's not how it is. So it is really important you go within. Going within is the way of the divine feminine. It calls you inside. Sachin, if there's anything which you would like to add here about what is divine feminine, then we can move
Uh,
forward.
no, I think you have covered it quite well. I think no, nothing to add for now.
Yes. So I'll just share one thing. Okay, so I'm sure all of us are, uh, well aware of the Yin Yang symbol, but I'll just show it here. Yes. So the yin yang symbol is what we are seeing. So the black side is the yin side, okay, as per the Taoist tradition, the yin side, and the white side is the yang side. But we see there's a white dot on the black side and there's a black dot on the white side. The reason why it is a circle and why it is created like this is again because of the same reason that they cannot actually be separated. They always coexist together. And we have been in the masculine dominant energy for so long, and which is kind of wounded in most of us. Doesn't matter we are man or women, but it has been dominant in nature because it has become our habit of, always anything comes in life, we are like, go out and do something. Okay, the energy of doing, the energy of going out and doing. The masculine energy is the energy which is the seeker energy, which goes out and does things. But the feminine energy is the energy of being. It welcomes you inside. It asks you, come inside. Okay, come inside. So let's talk about a story, a small story of a blind and a lame man. They had to cross a path. This is a very old fable. They had to cross a path, but the blind man cannot see and the lame man cannot walk, right? So the blind man says that to the lame man, that come sit on my shoulders, you show me the path, and I will walk the path. This fable is used for many different interpretations, but the interpretation which I have personally understood in respect to this context is that the the man who walks, okay, the blind man, he is more of the masculine energy, right? And the man who is lame is more of the feminine energy, because it is showing the path, it is guiding you, it is bringing the information in from the universe and guiding you that go out now use this information and do something about it. So can both of them move forward without each other? The blind man cannot see, the lame man cannot walk, but when they come together, then they're able to go forward, they're able to walk together. That is what is the role of these two energy within us. It's like us, if we cut one off, okay, and like we have cut off the feminine side of us for so long that we have become people who are running, who are just running without any direction, because the feminine is needed to get directions. The masculine follows it, walks it on the path, but no direction. Then what is he is going to do? He's trying to, when I'm using he, I do not mean man, I mean masculine energy. What he does, he will just go in different directions. Just he will be like, what do I do? So he'll just go walking on different directions. That is why it is really important for us to now, you know, look at the feminine side of us, because both of these things coexist together. But the feminine is the intuition, is the guidance which we carry within ourselves. But just because we layered it and we cut it off, we are not able to receive that guidance. Okay, that is why it is important that we look into those attributes of the feminine and go within them. The feminine, it's not like one more words which we use in Hindu tradition, the yogic Vedic tradition, are Kundalini energy or the Shakti energy. Okay, so the feminine energy is the Shakti energy. The it's pure potential. It's like that creative energy which gives birth. So if we just, you don't have to just believe, but I want you to feel right now when I'm saying this in your own body. Okay, in your own body, because the feminine is more connected to the body and the emotions. So go within the body and feel there is more Shakti energy which is there in the lower chakras. It's not like it's just in the lower chakras, it's spread across. That is the life force energy. We cannot work without it, but it is more concentrated on the lower chakras, while the masculine energy is more concentrated on the upper chakras. But it is when we were seeing that yin yang symbol, so the masculine energy is kind of here, more concentrated here. That is why it needs to connect to the feminine, to the feminine parts, to the body, to the emotions, to the softness which comes here, to this creation which is there, and connect to it, ground itself, come down. Whereas the Kundalini energy, when we work with the Kundalini energy, the Shakti energy within us, we we take it up. So it's a circle. It's a circle. The energy which is coming down and the energy which is going up. Both of these things have to happen for us to operate, to evolve, and to also operate on the planet Earth where we are living as, maybe I'm Anamika, Rashmi, Mohit, all the people here. Both of these things have to happen in the process. Now, what happens right now in the planet? with most of us, what we do is we are too much in the thinking mind. We are always analyzing things. We are more logical. We are not intuitive. We are more analytical in nature, and we think that everything is mathematical, logical, analytical, scientific. Everything is calculative. Okay, everything is transactional because we have cut off those feminine side of us. So, Dhwani, you have a question? For different roles, our energy differ? Yes. Yes. Depends. It is very situational. And but still, I would say, even if in different situations, you still cannot separate these energies. You'll need both of them. Okay. So there are dominant and active energies. There are inactive energies within us. We use it in different situations, but you cannot separate them. Yes, Aditya, you have any question?
Okay, whenever we as a society or India as a society or the some of the Asian societies mostly considered as a male-dominated society, and there are certain situations like war-like situation or whenever a rape happens in our society, we generally tends to blame on the male dominance mentality among us. So, how do you see these concepts with related to such a situation, whether it is related or not? First question, if it is related, what is wrong with our thinking process uh, that we have reached to this point as a society?
Mm-hmm. Right. So let's not call it male dominant society for the time being because we are not talking about the societal issues. Let's talk about the masculine dominant energy. Okay, so when the masculine energy becomes wounded, okay, nothing is enough for it. So because it is a seeking energy, it is an energy which goes out and acquires things. It is an energy which goes out of his way and gets things for itself. So that is why nothing is enough for it because there's always lag, there's always scarcity, there is always too much wanting, too much acquisition going on. And because of that masculine dominance, we can say yes, whatever is happening, or maybe talk about wars, or maybe talk about destruction, anything. Right now, I also said that the feminine energy has a destruction archetype. We talked about the Kali archetype. But the Kali archetype signifies that there is destruction, but it is destruction when it is absolutely needed. She does not go out and destruct just because you know she she needs to get something, or anything like that. She destructs when it is absolutely a necessity for her to bring good in life. It is about again birth. Death is also birth. But when the masculine becomes wounded in all of us, not just the males, in women also, we most women right now are on the planet are also masculine dominant. Okay, so it's like we are disconnected with the feminine side of us, both men and both men and women. So yeah, Sachin, if there's anything you would like to add till now.
Um, no, I think you have explained it well. So I still am trying to see what I can say, but I can just repeat what you have said in a different way to summarize for everyone. Is that um, we are talking about energies. We are not talking about the gender. So that is one thing to continuously keep in mind while you are listening to what we are talking. So see any of these things not as male or female issues, but it is energy issue because we both all genders have both. Even this play, what we talk about this balance. When we talk about the balance of these energies, balance doesn't mean 50-50 here. Balance means balance. It's like, for example, if we talk about male, then generally speaking, males will have more masculine energy and lesser feminine energy. Balance means that whatever you have, let's say if you, I'm just out, I'm just using number here, which doesn't make any sense, but just for argument's sake, I am say, if we say generally speaking, a man has 80% masculine and 20% feminine, then the balance here is 80-20 only. It's not 50-50. What we are saying is that most men will discard their 20% feminine side also, so they will operate 100% from masculine energy, and that is the problem. That is the issue that we are trying to raise and showcase here. That the balance here is to recognize whatever percentage you have, and you will know intuitively. Once again, there is no test or anything to do this. There may be some tests, um, but you will know intuitively that what all things you are suppressing for whatever reason, or whether it is because of hesitation, embarrassment, shyness, or whatever, is what you. Yesterday, I was having a talk with a friend, and he was very openly was saying that how many of you cry when you are watching a movie? I very openly cry. Those guys have spent so much money in making movies. They want you to cry and laugh. So why are you guys not crying and laughing? So that is what we are talking about, is being open and accepting that part, that what you feel, expressing that emotion in whichever proportion you feel, that is yours. So becoming connected with that, becoming okay with this, that this is okay. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks, that this is right, this is wrong. Um, Understanding, acknowledging that part is the first step. Before we do anything, before we go ahead and talk about solutions or anything like that, the first and foremost thing is to acknowledge that yes, I'm doing it. I am suppressing that side, and you would know anyway. You all of you would know where you are suppressing when you have to express your emotions. We're talking about the creativity, the emotions. Many a times people are suppressing their creativity also, thinking, oh, what will others say? They will judge whether I made something very nice or not. So they become very critical about that itself. What does it matter if it doesn't come out good or whatever? You wanted to do it, you do it. So these are the things which are important to first recognize, acknowledge, and only then the next step is possible. Otherwise, we can just keep talking about solutions, this, that, and all that. It's not going to make any difference in your life because the first step is missing. You're not even acknowledging that that is the problem. So then we can just keep on discussing. You can keep on reading books, watch videos, have these kind of discussions. Nothing is going to change in your life because the first step is missing. You're not even acknowledging that that is a problem. So, yeah, that's it from my side.
Dhwani, you have
Dhwani
any
has raised,
question?
yes, Dhwani.
Yes, I have one question. So the thing is, lately, women, as Anamika told, we're trying to be more masculine. So I want to understand, like, is this that are we consciously doing it, or we are like sabotaging and trying to become masculine so that the society accepts us? Because I do that with myself. To be very honest, I am more feminine, but when we work in corporate and all, you have to be more masculine. You have to show confidence, you have to be assertive. All that doesn't naturally come to me, but every time that I do it, it's something that triggers. This is not something I like,
Yeah.
but to
So
be
you answered
accepted,
your own
I
question. You
yeah.
answered
So
your own question. You were asking, is
okay,
it something we are doing artificially? So you answered your own
yeah,
question that you are doing it artificially and you are not liking it.
yeah. But to be
And
get
why? Because
accepted, we do it.
yeah, yeah. So that is your interpretation that that is the way to get accepted. So you are trying to get acceptance from everybody else, yet you're not liking who you are becoming. What acceptance you are seeking?
Hmm. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Sachin.
I'm saying that you are saying I'm doing it for acceptance from others, and
Yes,
yet what you are doing, you are not liking it. So there is no self-acceptance here. So what
yeah,
does it matter if whole world gives you acceptance? You have to live with yourself, and you can't live with yourself. So what is the point?
agreed, agreed. Yeah.
I have a question here, now added to what Kani has said. Um, is Is being confident and assertive necessarily a masculine trait? I thought.
No, no,
No.
it's not.
I don't think
No,
so. I
there
think
are versions. There are versions of it. See,
exactly,
masculine way of showing confidence is one way, and feminine way of
exactly,
showing
Exactly.
confidence. Yeah, there are versions of
exactly.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
It's not that only males are confident and females or masculine are
absolutely.
that. That's why I said this is her interpretation. That's exactly why I said that. That's her interpretation. She's doing it, and intuitively she knows. Consciously she doesn't know, but intuitively she knows. And why I'm saying intuitively she knows is because she's uncomfortable doing it. Whenever we are uncomfortable doing something, that is a very good indication that intuitively you already know that this is not correct. You are not comfortable, but we are not listening to it. We are not tuned with it. So our intuition is
Maybe,
telling us one thing.
absolutely. Maybe what I'm thinking is I have also seen men and women, I mean both sides, when they display the confidence or the assertiveness in a, like for example, if a woman is assertive and confident, but in very comfortable with her own in her own skin and in her
Yeah.
feminism, right, or femininity,
Yes.
I would say, not
Yes.
feminism. But when you try to become the masculine confidence and assertiveness is when it becomes very uncomfortable, and there is a
Well,
stress or there's a conflict within ourselves, is what I felt.
I'll go one step forward. Anamika hasn't shared this, but because this conversation is happening, I'll go one step forward and I will say that these traits that when we talk about confidence, so wounded side of things, when we talk about a wounded uh, male, masculine, exerting, so they will become aggressive or they will become that way. And their aggressiveness, they may show it and other people might see it as confidence. But both, when they become divine, when we talk about that evolution happens, both of them will be assertive. But both of them will be assertive in their own ways. So once you reach that point, the boundary between feminine and masculine starts to disappear in itself. So you will actually become both, and that is the whole point, is to become both, is to come out of this category of masculine feminine in that way, and ultimately you become both. So assertive man and assertive woman, who is divine, look, they will almost look the same, they will almost behave the same. You will not be able to, if you look past the gender, then they will both appear and behave same way. An assertive, confident, divine masculine and an assertive, confident, divine feminine will behave mostly the same way. Okay, continue.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on this, Sachin, that the energy of being, which is more feminine in nature, and the energy of doing, which is more masculine in nature, both cannot again be separated. So the feminine energy is more magnetic in nature. Okay, it just says that, I'm here right now, abundant in this space, and I'll magnetize. When I'm here, I'm so abundant, I'll magnetize everything towards it. So she is very magnetic, while the masculine energy is more like, I have to go out and do it. But again, you cannot separate it, because somehow you will be doing things, right? And like the way Sachin explained right now, a man or a woman who have reached a state of divinity, they would appear the same, because now there is no conflict. When we are in our wounded states, there are always conflicts going on. So I'll share a personal story right here. When I was getting connected to my feminine side last year, when I was going deeper and deeper into it, there came a point where, because I have been masculine dominant most of my life, I started working on this 3, 4 years ago, specifically on the feminine side of me. I was feminine also, but I had both wounded feminine and wounded masculine way characteristics in me, and I would mostly use the wounded masculine way to get things done. Okay, many people use the wounded feminine way. They would shut down, or they would just not do things, or but in wounded masculine they become aggressive. They are like, no, I have to go out, and I have to go out, and I have to keep doing, I have to keep doing without taking a pause, keep doing. I was there, and when I started this journey, when I was connecting to these parts of me, which was constantly so much filled of compassion, so much of love it has within me, and it started calling me in, that come, let's talk, let's sit, and let's have a conversation. And while talking to it, the dominant masculine part of me used to get so scared, because it was used to the old ways of living, of getting things done. It used to be so scared that at one point of time I used to cry, because I would see that there's a fight going on within me. The feminine wants to burst out of me. There was so much energy, there was so much energy which wanted to come out, but the masculine within me, which was more dominant that time, it would say that no, but that is weak. No, but that is not going to get the results. No, that is not going to make things happen. A constant battle. So when we get on this journey, because we are so used to the old ways of living, it is not it is not going to be easy. It takes a lot of courage. Okay, it takes a lot of courage to go and heal the feminine part. Because I'll tell you guys very frankly, when we are creating the course on embodying the divine feminine and embodying the divine masculine part, um, the first step to both is healing these energy, healing the wounded parts of, seeing the wounded parts, and mostly masculine energy, because we are more masculine dominant. So we first go through both the courses. They are separate courses, but they both have the elements of these two, because sometimes when we are in wounded states, we take up the role of the masculine, and sometimes we take up the role of the feminine. Okay, and both wounded. So much of fight, so much of distortion going within. So that was a little bit of a personal gist, and it took me really a lot of time to go through it, because I had spent most of my life living like that, in the fight mode, fight or flight, always. So that took a lot of courage to, come and sit down and talk to your own self. So mostly the process remains the same, because they are both parts of you only. They're both within you. That is one thing. Another attribute of a feminine is that it is more creative and artistic in nature. Okay, so the feminine part of you, all of you. So the one that is so much attracted to, the beauty in the nature, the one that is attracted to the trees and the animals, and can feel it in the body, and can literally process it in the whole body, because the feminine is of the body. It's the divine, it's the manifestation of the heaven in the body, on the earth. The feminine is that, and that is why you're able to feel all this within you, because of that feminine part of you. You feel connected to everything. You feel connected to the trees, to the air, to the plants, to the animals. More feminine part of you. The feminine is also connected to the rhythms of life, like uh, in the female, the manifestation of the feminine in a female body is menstruation. Okay, so if a feminine has a very healthy body, and has a very healthy system of working, then her menstrual cycle will uh, uh, you know go with the cycle of the moon, the 28-day cycle of the moon. We have new moon, and we have a full moon, and her cycles would automatically start dancing with the moon. The moon is another archetype of the feminine. Night is another archetype of the feminine, because the feminine is dark in nature. It is black, it is dark in nature. So everything, the feminine part of you goes with the nature of life. And the men who are more connected to their bodies, they will be able to understand this thing that they are also going on with the rhythms of life. How, when the moon changes, their mood, their response, the way they see things, the way they perceive things, it is all changing all the time. The feminine part of all of us, both in men and women, that doesn't have a problem with change, because it is, the feminine just simply flows. She just flows. She doesn't have any problem with the change. She goes with the moon, and she goes with, you know, all the cycles of nature, the cycle of life and death. So the feminine part of you is also fearless in nature. Another important attribute of a divine feminine is that she is fearless. She hunts at night, and she goes out at night. She dances within, beneath the moonlight, and she's active in the dark. So the night is more feminine in nature. That is another characteristic which I had in mind. Also, when you start creating something, because she is the creative life force, the kundalini within all of us, the Shakti energy, creation, when the creation happens through you, okay, it is just about to come out and blast. You're going to build a business, and you just have the plan, and you're going to execute the plan. Just see what you feel in the body. Tingling all over the body, sensations all over the body, so much of excitement and joy and enthusiasm. Feminine energy. That is also feminine. The energy, which is the energy of pure energy. It is pure energy, like moving, vibrating, just the cosmic energy, which is through within. If we just see ourselves holographically within a microscope, it's just energy tingling and dancing all around. It goes through all of us. It's just that we are not aware of it. We don't feel it all the time, because we are not connected to the body and the emotions. We are in the head thinking, so we never get time to connect with that energetic sensation which is going on within us. So that is another part of it. Anybody has any questions? Sachin, would you like to add anything?
No, no, I think you covered it quite well. So, yeah, in the interest of time, so I think let's cover the last part is why. So we have talked about the what is divine feminine, divine masculine, covered the aspect of it and the attributes that what is a divine feminine. Now the biggest question is why we are talking about all this. So what is the use? What is the need of this? It sounds all good. It's feels good, but where do we need this? So the practical application, or yeah. So basically that. So why do we need to embody? Why do we need to work on ourselves? So put it this way. Yes. So we talked about wounded feminine, wounded masculine, and divine, and all that. But why do we need to work? What is the need of it? Or if we don't, then what happens? So maybe we just cover that.
Yeah. Yeah. Then going forward to why do we need to work on these parts of us? Okay. So pretty simple. If before talking about relationships, if we just simply talk about the blind and the lame man. So it's like we are the blind man, without seeing, without the eyes, closed eyes. We are just running in all directions. That's exactly how most people on earth are. Autopilot mode. Autopilot mode. Okay, they get up in the morning, and they just go to work, or they just do whatever they want to do, and then they have the family responsibilities, the social responsibilities, the all the different things which goes on in a regular life. They do it. Maybe there's a business, maybe a big business, a multi-millionaire business, still the same thing. Okay, so just going out and in autopilot mode, fighting and going out and getting more and more and more. But with this kind of an energy that we have to do a lot of hard work, we have to fight a lot to get things done. This thing which goes on most of the times, that uh, we have to just hustle, the culture which we talk about. So most of the things, most of the people are operating in that autopilot mode. But if we ask them that are they really happy, I was just yesterday talking to a man. I'll give a real life example. An old person, very old times. I was talking to him after 10 years, and I asked him a question, that what do you desire in life? He said peace and happiness. Okay. And then we were talking further in the conversation, and I asked him things like, when was the last time you sat alone and you just did nothing and you enjoyed? He said, I don't remember. And because I have too many aspirations, because I'm sailing a big boat. He meant to say that he's a very rich guy. So I was just talking to him, and he has everything, like family, kids, and everything. So he's saying two contradictory things together. He wants peace and happiness, but 24/7, all of his energy goes into running the machine, because we live like robots. So, first and foremost, most important thing why we need to look at both of these energies is that to come out of the autopilot mode and see for ourselves what are we doing, why are we doing it.
I want to add one point over here.
Sure, sure.
Um, so one of the things, I'm sure some people will be having this question in their mind, thinking, but I need this when I'm working, especially people working in corporate. They feel that this is the way things needs to be done and all that. Fine, we have already touched this point. So uh, you are doing it and it's working. It's okay. Nobody is contesting that. So what we are basically saying here is that don't just keep doing one thing. Don't just keep only operating from one energy. It's working. It's good. Fine. Just leave it. It's whatever is working is fine. We are talking about not operating from one energy alone all the time. So you need that kind of energy to work in your work, and that is how things get done and all that. All good. Find ways to express the other side also. If you cannot express that at work, that's okay. Then don't express it at work. Express somewhere else. But you need to find a way to balance it out. You cannot just stick with an excuse to say, but this is how I'm supposed to do. That I cannot accept, that this is the only way to operate. It's just the lack of creativity. That itself is showing the lack of feminine energy, that you are so close to even think about creative ways of coming out of it. So, note this point. If this question is even coming in your head, and that resistance is coming in your head, that you are basically proving our point here. This is showing lack of creativity, and lack of creativity is lack of feminine energy expression. So think about it before even entertaining that question. Think about, is that question even valid? Okay, continue.
Yeah, thanks for adding that, Sachin. That is really important. Um, I mean, we can go out and build everything. I mean, really everything, but it's just that, we are just using one side of the coin. And when we use just one side of the coin, when it is not connected with both of the sides, it becomes wounded. Okay, because the blind and lame man cannot go alone. They have to go together to work it out. So if we just use the attributes of the masculine, it is going to become wounded, because the masculine becomes divine when it connects to the feminine, and the feminine also becomes divine when it connects to the masculine. Both of them go hand in hand together. So build businesses, like building businesses, making a lot of money, nothing is wrong. Nothing. You can do whatever you want to do in this world. There are no judgments for anybody for anything. But it's the space which where it is coming from that matters. If it is the space which is connected to your divinity, or it is the space which is created, just because of your beliefs and just because of what you were taught and just because how society thinks. Not going it's just as simple as it's not going to make you happy. Even if you get happy, it's just going to be temporary happiness, because after achieving one goal, you're going to achieve another and find another and another, and it's going to be a lifelong race, like racing a horse. You never get down off that horse. Get down off the horse, understand why do you want to get up on the horse, and then go forward. That is why it is really important that we connect to the sacred divine parts of us, divine energies within us, and for our personal growth, for the self, for yourself, not just for anybody else. But when you connect to these parts of you, when you start, connecting to the feminine part of you, the masculine part of you, healing the masculine part of, because it is dominant, we first need to talk to it and to see, how we can come into alignment. All these work we need to do together for our personal growth. When we work on this on our personal levels, it is pretty obvious that it is going to impact our relationships in beautiful ways. Beautiful ways. So um, we will be more creative. We will be expressing, because we are more connected to ourselves. We know exactly what we need and what we want. We are connected to ourselves. We'll be able to communicate better. We'll be able to express in a more clear way. And also we'll be able to hold the space for the other to express to us in a clear way, in just, clear, concise, like straightforward way. We hold space for each other. It's like now the dance which is going on within you, the same dance begins to happen in your relationship. There would be times when you're in your romantic relationship, you will see that, you did played the masculine role and your partner played the feminine role. He or she played the masculine role, and you played the feminine role. The dance which was going within us, it will start demonstrating in your relationship. And we are talking about the relationship when it comes to the relationship between, like, divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And then when two people, when they bring on the table, like Sachin said earlier, when we have mastered it within us, be it a man or a woman, they have transcended, you know just these things. So they are just a dance going within, and when they come together, it's a circle of giving and receiving which completes. Your ways will change, the way you operate in the world, the way you do things will change completely. You will be more you'll be more balanced in your energies, and thus it is, of course, automatically going to shift your relationships. So over to you, Sachin. That's all from my side today. And anything you want to add?
Thanks, thanks, Anamika. That was good. We can take questions, but I just wanted to add that this is a timely topic. We decided to do this topic today because 8th of March is the International Women's Day, and we are doing a dedicated workshop on that. Uh, Anamika, can you show the brochure for that one on the screen? So that is happening, and we would like to invite you all for that, if that works. This is about taking this forward. So we have talked about the attributes and why, and 1 hour is not enough to keep talking about what we need to do next. So that is why we have this workshop coming up on 8th, where we will be talking about the the how part. Ananta, can you show the brochure of that as well on the screen? So, um, and just share the link in case if anyone wants to register for that. So yeah, that's from my side. This is the workshop that we are doing. So if in case if you know anyone who would benefit from this and would like to attend, if you any of you want to attend this, then this is what it is. The registration link can be shared in the comments, please, for everyone, and you can ask us any question about it if you want. That's from my side. Any questions anyone has before we wrap up? So we have a few minutes that we can spend to talk about anything.
Well, nothing much. I think this was very uh, helpful in understanding a little bit with more clarity in terms of what does it mean to be uh, the feminine and the masculine. So that's kind of really amazing. Thank you so much for the session. This was totally worth uh, understanding, totally worth imbibing and seeing maybe within ourselves as to where we can create space for us to move forward, or really take a look into who we are, and a lot of things to think about. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Rashmi.
Rashmi. Thanks for the
There's a
comment.
lot more. There are many more things, you know. I mean, these are like days and hours and weeks long topics.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep, I understand.
So we just covered, you know, a very short gist of it. Yeah, anybody else? Any question?
So I noticed that there are quite a number of men who attended today's call as well. So would like to know what was your experience of this, or anybody wants to comment that what were you hoping to hear from this today? Ankit, Ashutosh, Mohit, anyone wants to share? It's like people are a
It's
little bit
okay if
shy.
you guys want to share anything, you can always write to us in the group. If any of you are not there in the WhatsApp group, please join it. I'm not sure if you all have the link. You must have received the link in your email.
Rahul, I think you probably thought that we are starting at 6. You just joined now.
Yeah, he just joined now. Anyway, we'll be sharing the recording of this session with everyone. We'll just wrap it up now, and we hope to see you all again.
Any questions you have, you can ask us in the WhatsApp group also. So it doesn't have to be now, but yeah, any clarity, it doesn't have to be questions. You can just also share your experience of this. Do you agree, not agree, or what have
Yeah.
you identified? Just anything is fine. It doesn't have to be Q&A all the time only. You can just tell us about your experience of this as well.
Cool.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, everyone, for joining. See you guys again.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.